So, here's something that I find ludicrous, and I know most, if not everyone out there, finds this ludicrous. Certainly, those who are historians and those who have just looked, even taken a cursory glance into the topic. Did Jesus Christ actually exist? Yes. He is a firmly established historical character. More so than most. We have more evidence, more variety of evidence, and more consistent and well-preserved accounts of him than anyone from antiquity. Yet, when atheists hear this, or I should say anti-theists hear this, they seem to go out of their mind, and they who claim themselves to be skeptical won't use Occam's razor. Again, there are people who claim to be skeptics that then, are extremely anti-GMO for reasons that don't make sense, right? I mean, somebody might have a good reason to be against GMOs. I've not heard a reason for it, though, but they go into they start listing off pesticides that aren't used on GMOs, or they talk about industrial farming, which again is not a GMO issue. So did Simon Peter and Paul, did they exist? I mean, we know Pontius Pilate existed and Caiaphas existed. Did Simon Magus not exist? Did John the Baptist not exist? Did James, the brother of Jesus, not exist? What about, which we know James and John the Baptist existed. What about Clement of Rome, or Clement of Alexandria, or Ignatius of Antioch, or Justin Martyr, or Irenaeus of Lyon, or keep going down the line. Even up to Cyril of Alexandria. What about Constantine the Great? It's pretty ludicrous. And then they act like it's these anti-theists act like it's some type of thing that must be taken on faith, or some type of fundamentalist thing, or something like, well, he couldn't have existed because there's no such thing as a virgin birth. Well, that has nothing to do with his historicity, whether he was born of a virgin or not. Really doesn't. Or, well, he couldn't have existed because people don't rise from the dead. Again, does not affect his historicity as a apocalyptic preacher that was executed by the Romans, and whose followers believe that he rose from the dead and then spread Christianity everywhere. And the funny thing is that they think, many of them think the Bible is one book, like as if they don't seem to know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were written by different people. Luke and Matthew used Mark as a template, but Matthew didn't like Mark's message, and Luke didn't like Matthew's message. They were each trying to remain loyal to the teachings of this apocalyptic preacher, who some believe was Messiah, some believe was the Son of God, some believed he was Elijah or a prophet, and they each pretty much recorded the same events, but gave these events different significance. And you have someone like Paul, who is speaking to people who had met Jesus and are related to him. But Jesus didn't exist, or if he existed, if it's there's two groups there. There's those who are totally ignorant of history and what historical evidence is, and then there are those who say, well, since Jesus is a religious character, then we need extraordinary proof for him. No, we don't. Or we need more proof than a regular person. No, we don't. I mean, there's people like Richard Carrier who three times now when backed into a corner whether Jesus existed. He said, yeah, but you guys mean the Jesus that rose from the dead and was born of a virgin. Twice people have said, no, we're talking about the Jesus who is said to have been born of a virgin by two groups of Christians, not all of them. You know, that's only mentioned in Luke and Matthew, and only 3 Gospels have him explicitly raising from the dead. So talking about the Jesus of Nazareth, son of Mary, who was an apocalyptic preacher, who of his time was a wonder worker, which was not uncommon, who was said by some to have been born of a virgin, and said to have been risen from the dead after crucifixion. There's no need for, photographic evidence of his existence. So that's irritating. And it's you just see how anti-skeptical and uneducated these people who are anti-theists, atheists who believe themselves to be skeptic, but they don't look at anything skeptically. It's like like one of the people from one of the radical leftists from Berkeley who refused to look at both sides of the issue. It's pretty obscene, and there's really no. I mean, what do you do at that point? Because these people, again, it's like arguing with a crazy anarchist, black bloc, social justice warrior leftist. There's literally nothing, no evidence, no amount of anything that you can show them that can be said that they won't just say, they won't just make up something to support their own worldview, right? I mean, it's worse than a fundamentalist Christian. It's far worse than dealing with the fundamentalist Christian. Yeah, I think that's one of the most infuriating things. All right, peace to you.